Hi, Stephen Lashley here, and I'm with Caleb, Danny, Ben, and Hunter. Today we're talking about raising the minimum wage. First off, I'd like to say that we'd oppose raising the minimum wage for a variety of reasons, and I'd like to go into what those reasons are, and why we believe that they wouldn't be beneficial for our target market. The first reason is inflation. Raising the minimum wage can do horrible things as far and away as devaluing the American dollar. If we raise the minimum wage to 15, then that raises prices far out of their range so that businesses can compensate for the labor and for their workers and their labor force. What that does is makes job valuation go down. So for a doctor who is trying to make, for however much money they're trying to make for an hourly wage, it could be 30, could be 40, depending on their residency, that job evaluation will either have to go up, which would mean that jobs that are entry level at fast food chains or convenience stores would have to also be raised with that to compensate. Furthermore, that would bring job competitiveness to an all-time high, because we have what would happen is companies would choose to hire the least amount of stress level for their employee. What I mean by that is a fast food restaurant would not hire someone who they have to help compensate for their job, like if they have a family that they have to feed and they have obligations to be at a certain place at a certain time. They're more likely to hire someone who is going to be like a teenager, and that teenager would be making well over $30,000 a year, which wouldn't be good for someone who could be making that money for their family. And then the last thing, which is what we really would be hitting on with our advertisement, which my colleagues will get into later, is the devaluation of a college degree. And even more so, we could expand that to be devaluing higher education in general. Devaluing higher education would happen because if you get out of college and the field that you're looking to study in is already comparable to somewhere that's like a fast food chain, then most likely your degree is going to be devalued, because that industry is not going to be as in high demand for workers, because people would opt to just forego a college degree when they could just go to work at a fast food chain. And so those are the reasons why we would choose to market towards the target market, which we'll get into in just a little bit. So I'd like to pass it off to Ben.
Well, the way we want to communicate to our market is Pandora and Spotify. The way we want to communicate through that is because Pandora, obviously we listen to it while we study, while we work out, just for casual listening as well. We listen to it. It's free for us as long as we just listen to the regular, and we will have ads with it. Or you can pay for it, which college students usually don't pay for it, so they have ads. And that's where we would hit our college market, and we would definitely target them through that. And then Caleb's going to talk about our target market.
So our target market consists of the individuals that this would affect the most, which is us, the college students. Because we've been going to a college for 3-4 years now, paying an outrageous amount of money so that we can get degrees that will allow us to make more money than the average person. So our target market is going to consist of new college students all the way up into college grads, and even those grad students. So this could be anywhere between the ages of 18 and 28.
With our target market, we chose that it would be college grads because minimum wage mostly applies to uneducated, unskilled workers. And those are going to be mainly high school students or those who didn't go to college. Those are the people that mainly go to those minimum wage jobs and try to bring home money to their family or whatnot. But those people that are graduating college and stuff are trying to enter the workforce in entry-level jobs. And with raising the minimum wage, that devalues the value of minimum or entry-level jobs. So it's harder for college grads to jump into those right out of college. And so we would also use social media that college graduates and undergrads they use, which quite often you'll find students on Facebook, as well as Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn is also rising. It's definitely for young professionals, so we would put advertisements on there. And it also helps to put it on, especially LinkedIn, because that's where a lot of college grads and stuff are going to be looking for jobs. They're looking for opportunities to connect with professionals, and so that to keep that in the same realm and on their mind is kind of what we're going for.
So just to reiterate, we've addressed how raising the minimum wage will have a detrimental impact for many individuals, particularly college students, and recent college grads will be facing these impacts as time goes on, and as the minimum wage were to increase, we'll see these negative impacts continue to grow. It looks great in the short term, but in the long term, it tends to be more harmful. Everybody wants to have that minimum wage increase because of the increased income, but in later years, we will find that this minimum wage increase is actually going to cause a reduction of jobs in the market, and it's ultimately going to devalue the work that most people do. It's going to devalue the college degree, creating less incentive for individuals to achieve a higher education in the first place, and it's going to create this increased competition for lower-end jobs that require less skill, which is going to be detrimental and harmful to not only the workforce, but also to our technological advancements as well. Ultimately, this is going to put out local businesses and harm society on a greater level than we can imagine.
So in conclusion, I'd like to say that I'd like for you to imagine you're sitting in your dorm room studying in your first year of college, and you are listening to music, as we were saying, in Pandora or Spotify. And you, as you're studying, you come across a commercial that talks about what the effects of raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, federally mandated minimum wage hike, would do to you specifically. And you listen to that, and that would be the setting that we would be going for most likely. And so to conclude with this video, we'd like to show you what that might sound like as you're listening to Spotify or Pandora. Thank you.
Hi, we hope you've enjoyed your listening experience at Pandora. The next 30 minutes of ad-free music are brought to you by our sponsor. What? I can make $30,000 a year with no experience or skills? Who needs an education or hard work when the government is raising the minimum wage to $15? Brought to you by That One Group and Consumer Behavior.